Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test Champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Another week into the prolonged holidays for yourself. First week back at work for myself, so
yeah,
been a bit of a shock to the system. But,
first week back at work for all, basically everybody, obviously, apart from anyone working in the education system, apart from those poor souls in early childhood who cruise all the way. I don't want to say cruise, that's not the right word, but have to smash it out all the way through. But yeah, it's sort of, this is the week all your friends are back at work, unless you've got a large group of teaching friends with the same interest. I can't see too many of my teaching friends on the golf course or at the hockey with me every day, but it's been good.
Life in cruise control.
Yeah, sun's been shining. What are we now? It's 2 to 9, and the sun's not out, but it's still light. So yeah, life's good. It's nice. The weather's been lovely. We've had sharks roaming Takapuna Beach, which is a bit out of the ordinary. And yeah, we're 11 days into 366 consecutive days of swimming. So make the most of it while you can, because I think come May or June I'm going to be finding it a wee bit chilly. But no, it's been good. Like you said, a prolonged holiday. So it's been enjoyable and sort of starting to get back into a little bit more of sport. We're getting a little bit more action on the TV. A lot of those breaks over the winter or over the summer for us, but over the winter there in the UK have stopped. And we're even cracking more into a little bit of NRL. Obviously, the season's this year. There's a little bit more going on. We're seeing lots of things of blokes at training and things like that. So it won't be long until we start to see, some squads named for some friendlies. Do we any nines? No, nothing like that, eh?
No nines. Just the old Vegas showcase.
And when's the date for that? Is it March?
I think it's either the first week of March or last of Feb.
What have we got? Indigenous All-Stars, 16th of Feb.
There we go, 16th of Feb.
And then the women's is on the same day as well. Then we got, what's that, pre-seasons? 15th of Feb.
Pre-season challenge.
18th of Feb. Can you click on that? Where's that?
Warriors West
I'm
Tigers,
going.
same thing again, last year. Christchurch.
Fuck, I'd
It's a bit of a nutty day trip.
We'd be able to get like a cheap flight,
It's a bit of a nutty day trip.
I'd probably do it, to be fair, but I can make the most. I couldn't really go to Christchurch and not go and see all my family, but if it was just, but it's all about getting that. How do you get back? You probably can't get a flight back too late.
3rd of March.
3rd of March is right.
That's Vegas.
But that'll be 3:30 p.m.
New Zealand time. So, okay. But it's just like, what's the 3rd of March? What day of the week are we talking here?
We'll just go.
Sunday.
Okay. So go back up to that then, into the NRL, and then when's the first? 7th. Oh, okay. So you get a bit of a break. Interesting.
I thought it was pre-season, but it's actually competition footy. That's interesting.
That's buzzy. Yeah.
But 16th of Feb, so a wee while to wait yet. Until we're back out on the field competing. But every team's back in training now, so I'm sure we'll see, a bit of footage coming out.
36 days. If you look at it that way, it's not too far away.
36 days, yeah, exactly.
And we've only got 4 hours and 58 minutes left of this day, so really it's 35 and a bit.
4 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Sorry,
and
2 hours and
58.
58. Sorry, yeah. Poor maths.
Yeah.
Really poor maths. Wow, that's
You must be on a different time zone out here.
it's cruise control, brother. My brain's
yeah.
been switched off. I'm not been doing too much maths apart from on the hockey. But even then, that's poor. 9 to 12. Come on, brother. You should know that a little bit better. But yeah, not too far away when you look at it like that. 36 days. But there is still the bits and pieces going on. Obviously, we've seen, fingers crossed, what looks like a deal for Justin Olam to come across to the Tigs.
Yeah, did you see what's his name? Shane Richardson has swung the X on Fulton. Yeah, Scott Fulton.
He's gone. And it's an interesting thing, the old Tigers. So whether or not we see Olam get across the line,
That'd be a hell of a signing, I reckon.
Very, very good signing. Obviously fell out of favour a little bit there last year, and what an impact player he is, and kind of filled. Obviously, I think we've really bossed up that forward pack, and obviously we needed a half. But I think the other position that we did look a little bit weak in at stages was centre. So to have someone like him in there. I think he'll be awesome if we can get him across the line.
Yeah, it brings a bit more experience, I guess, as well.
Coming from a team like the Storm,
especially if there are some rumours. I don't know if anything much more has eventuated out of the Noffa situation that we saw sort of bubble up a few weeks ago.
Not too sure. I haven't seen anything pop up.
Late recently. To training / not rocking up.
Knowing the Tigers, we may not be back at training yet after the new year. Who knows? I'm sure Benji's got them on a pretty tight schedule there. But I haven't seen anything to be fair. Whether or not we see Olam come over the line, that'd be awesome. I think it'd be a really handy signing. But yeah,
ran out a pretty raw back five for you there, I guess. In terms of experience, apart from Nofalumba, obviously.
Yeah,
I think, and Tommy Talal's off to Manly now as well. So
I think Buller's the type. He sort of plays like he's played 50
this year, or off to Dolphins this year. Or is it starting from next year?
I'm not too sure. I think it's this year. Have a little look. I'm pretty sure he's straight there this year. That still says
from
2025.
So you've still got 2 by this year.
That's all right then. That's definitely
doesn't make things as worse as I thought.
Yeah, it definitely makes them.
Olam would make things a lot tastier. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty stoked if we can get him, and then obviously his experience there in 2025, along with Luai coming in as well, getting another season. I think 2026 could be a season to look forward to for the Tigers.
You already called it. You're booking your grand
final
tickets.
Yeah, grand final tickets 2026. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, or maybe people might say 2025, 20 years after previously making the grand final. Maybe that is the year. Maybe that's why Luai's coming in. Benji's got something up his sleeve. Who knows? We've seen other signing news. Zach Hosking today, I believe, or maybe late last night. I think I saw it. One of the two. Off to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Add some really good depth to that Raiders squad there. Really
hell of a forward pack, man. How are they going to pack a? It's going to be a struggle to fill all these players in they've got now. Obviously, unfortunate news probably around Haroa Naira.
I haven't seen or heard.
Apparently, there's rumours that he's going to be medically retired.
Too many head knocks.
The collapse on the field last year.
That's right. Yeah. No, I do remember.
I think it was a cardiac.
I do remember. Yeah. That's sad.
So potentially, that's part of the reasoning why. But Zach Hosking, hell of a player, and yeah, look, Raiders, I don't know what they're going to do with that forward pack. They've got, they've still got Whitehead and Hudson Young there in the back row.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a tough.
Oh, it's a good. It's one of those good challenges to have, I guess. Quite often for coaches, it can be a handy problem to have. But I've seen. I saw a photo. I don't know what year the photo was from. Whether it was last season or maybe might have been the first season that Penrith won the title. I'm not too sure, but showing how many players had left now. We're starting to see quite a lot of players, and obviously I think that was including Luai, who's not gone until the year after, but quite a lot of those players are, dwindling out to other clubs.
Yes, this is what happens when you develop a team that wins 3 comps back to back, and you've got 6 or 7 players who are probably the best, or arguably the best in their position in the comp.
It's
nice. You just think like Edwards, you'd probably obviously not number 1 fullback in a lot of people's eyes, but there's probably an argument that he's, the most consistent fullback in the comp.
Most consistent. I think you could go with what I say is the top number 1.
Probably one of the best wingers in the comp. You've got Luai, you probably not the best 6, but on his day he's certainly up there in the top handful.
He's played with the best 7 in the comp.
Best
for the
7
last
hands
3-4 years, so
probably 2 of the best front rowers in the comp. The best 13 in the comp. Look, it's ridiculous. You're always going to struggle to keep that team together.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year, or this year, and next year as well, as we see that team deplete that little bit more. A little bit of news there in Brisbane. I don't know. I've seen what you've got there, but I don't know if you'd seen anything. I believe I'm 95. This could be one of those stories where I've gotten 2 things slightly mixed up, but Pango Jr.
Spotted at training.
At Broncos training. Whether or not we see him putting the boots back on or not, he was looking big. I'm sure he'd still get out there and do some damage. It was last year that he gave the game. Last year, and. Maybe already looking to get back onto the footy
field. Not a huge boxing fan myself, but has he had a fight yet? Because that would probably be one of the most controversial decisions ever.
Maybe one of those, maybe he's fought Gallen or something like that. One of those fights
behind closed doors, maybe.
No, the old fucking what are they the fight?
Surely if he would have fought Gallen.
Not Backlash. That's the old cricket. You know what I mean. One of those footy fight nights where you see all the leagueies and union players up against each other.
But yeah, spotted at training. Interesting to see if he does have any sort of.
Who knows, eh? Good player to watch. So I'd like to see him back in the league. It'd be good.
Be hard for him to get into that Broncos side, to be fair.
Very hard.
But yeah, look, Sol and Cobbo, they've come out and said he's going to be playing centre, filling in Herbie's hole that he's left there. Filling in Herbie's hole, I guess it's a double entendre we probably don't want to think about. But look, filling in that hole at centre. I think I like it. He's obviously got the comparisons to Greg Inglis and Latrell, and that's probably where they've played their best footy in their careers.
I think it'd be good to see. I think I like that too. That's obviously another team.
Less shit touches, more chance to just sort of have an impact.
So it's another team that's very, very strong.
Get the ball earlier.
I think it'll be really awesome for them. I think it's a team that's looking really strong. Brisbane there, all those young fellas getting that little bit more experience each year. I think this could possibly be the year where they give it a really good crack. I reckon.
I think they'll have to. Yeah, they'll have to do it while Adam Reynolds is still there. unless they do manage to really get the best out of Ezra Mam. Obviously, that grand final performance was something I don't think I've ever seen before.
I think
from
those
a young bloke.
I think this
So
could be the
surely
year.
he's going to be a superstar, but whether he can direct the team around like Reynolds has done.
That's what I think. They need to have the two of them still there together. How many more years is Reynolds? Just the one?
I'm not too sure. I mean,
Maybe
he's
one
getting
is-
on a little bit.
One on his contract though, possibly, or was it just a?
I think he signed a 3-year deal there.
3-year deal.
That would be one more year, unless he's extended since then. But who knows? But yeah, look, it's probably them and the Warriors as well. Probably last sort of chances with Johnson and Reynolds there in their final years. So
I think
all ramping up
slightly
to the-
tougher job there for the Warriors with the calibre of players that they've lost compared to, say, losing Herbie Farnworth to losing, best prop of the year last year.
Yeah, I mean he's still there this year, so it's probably the year for them to.
This is probably and it is Sean's
To
last
do
year
it.
as well. You're right. So maybe this is the last. Well, whether or not we
They've
see
been
him.
piping on about it since 1995 that it's our year. Well, I don't know. I don't really remember much pre
Can't
sort of
say I know much about
2000.
1995.
2000, maybe 7, 8 was probably when I started sort of really clocking on to fucking. Oh yeah, it's our year. It's our year. You know,
I
fucking shut up.
saw some blokes today. On where was I? I can't even remember. Can remember where I was. And I had my Tigers. Oh, I was walking along, sort of, just at sort of your intersection there of what's that? Clarence and Victoria.
Yeah.
By the old Westpac, the new. You wouldn't have seen it yet. Little SPCA op shop.
It's
Rocking in there now.
Isn't there a new Chinese place?
There is a
coming
new
in there?
Chinese-
It's more of a
it's-
restaurant though.
Right next door to the op shop. So
Restaurant or like takeaway? Obviously restaurants.
I'm
do
hoping takeaway. We had a look at the menu the other day.
Takeaway vibe though, you know, good old fashioned.
They got a sweet and sour pork. They've got a
but
fried rice.
As long as it's not like $38.
Prices look pretty decent actually. But I think it was like 12 dumplings for $12 or something like that. You know, so
Not too bad considering it's Devo.
pretty decent. But yeah, these blokes in a Warriors shirt, and I had my Tigers gear on, and that they gave me a little snicker. But I saw a bloke in his Raiders gears the other day. It cut past in traffic, sort of at like the turn of Victoria and Calliope. There, so you got a bit of slowness coming in. They're building a new bloody pedestrian crossing, so there's traffic lights along Victoria.
Oh, yeah, so those Raiders
So
pedestrian crossings.
It's all on along there, and we sort of came to like a bit of a halt, and go the Raiders, mate. Because I'll happily sort of shout out a bloke wearing Raiders gears, in Devonport. It's not something you see very often, You see some fella rolling around in a Titans singlet, you're going to give him an up the Titans, Probably really most teams, bar the Warriors, I'm going to be sort of chahooing, I'd say. Maybe if I saw someone in Penrith gears
especially
these
in New
days.
Zealand, it's a bit
Yeah.
more.
You see
Mate,
someone in Penrith gears these days, maybe it's a bit more just let the bloke fucking,
Stroll on through,
Yeah.
There's no need to nod your head at
I
a
think,
glory hunter.
maybe the Storm and the Broncos possibly as well, to be fair, but most teams you're sort of going to give them a little bit of a yahoo, so that's probably the end of the NRL. With
Oh,
that.
did you see Ronald Volkman?
Not that I'm aware of.
So, you know how we signed them
Yep.
like last week or
Yeah.
whatever? He failed a medical
Ooh.
at the Dragons. He's got a fucked shoulder, needs surgery. And so, yeah, it's like...
Deals off.
Yeah, deals off because we hadn't registered the deal with the NRL yet.
Okay.
He'd been training with us and then...
So what's the go then? Do you reckon you're going to go for
I don't know. I read somewhere that apparently he has to stay... he'll potentially have to stay at the Warriors. They've got a 2-year deal left with him.
Oh, that's interesting.
We don't have to sign him now unless some other team wants to sign him. But he's injured for the whole season, so unlikely that that's going to happen. So buzzy one for old Ronnie. He may be on his way back to Aotearoa for some treatment on a shoulder and maybe try and rebuild his career at the Waz.
The old failed medical, eh?
Failed medical. I've never heard of it.
In rugby league.
Well, to be honest, I've never even heard of it in football.
There's been players over the years that have failed medicals, and that
I can't think of any at the top of my head.
Oh, there was someone that we were going to sign.
Kim Kallstrom. Was that his name?
Yeah, Kim Kallstrom.
With a broken back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we signed him injured as well. I believe.
How does he pass a medical?
Yeah, who knows? There's one that's like right on the edge of the memory bank there. Someone that we were going to sign and they failed a medical. Someone that we were going to sell and they failed lots of medicals. Wellington Silver. Remember him?
Medicals.
I'm pretty sure, but that's why
I thought he had no work permit.
Didn't get a work permit, but then because he never really played, I believe when we went to get rid of it, I'm pretty sure he failed a medical before he went somewhere. But that was his thing. Couldn't get a work permit, so he was always on loan.
So Scooby.
Yeah, not something you hear of very often.
So poor Ronald Volkman, I suppose. Failed medical, potentially on his way back to the Waz.
Dragons still on the lookout for another half, I guess.
Possibly, yeah. Look, that's one's what. I don't know if Amon's off to prison, but he's been charged in the courts, suspended as such, and another one failed medical. So hopefully it's third time lucky.
Who knows? Yeah, fingers crossed.
But yeah, speaking of failed medicals, football probably does lead us into a bit of the Arsenal.
A little segue into the Gooners, and unfortunately, it's a brief little foray into the Gooners. Times are tough. It seems to all be falling apart. Possibly the only good thing to come out of this is that we don't have to focus on the cup.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have knocked out Liverpool early, probably leaving maybe only one or two major threats left in the FA Cup, but yeah, I suppose that is another bonus. We'll be fully fresh for all those rest of the league games, Champions League, however far we may get in that one. But story of the last three games. I think I saw we've had 60 shots, something like 16 on target or something, and one goal.
It's atrocious. And I've just seen something
Which
as
was
well.
The jammiest rebound.
Arteta has apparently come out and said that a striker doesn't look very likely, although just before we did start recording, there was apparently news of Borja Mayoral from Getafe maybe having a bid put in for him. But a striker is what we need. It was clear in this game here. If we'd had a striker that could have finished some chances, we would have beaten Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean we need that striker. Obviously, last year you look at Martinelli, Odegaard, Xhaka. We're missing his goals from midfield. He popped up with quite a few last year.
He would be perfect right now.
Yeah,
Rice,
someone to get them.
Rice, Odegaard, and Xhaka would be insane, I think, together.
Oh hell yeah! It would be an epic combination. Look, Havertz. I mean, he just seems to drift a little bit too much for my liking. Like he's not aggressive enough.
Yeah. A little bit airy-fairy.
Yeah, a little bit like Ozil was, but
different caliber of players.
Different caliber of player, and I guess it's different. Like back in the day, like 5-10 years ago, you sort of had that number 10, that sort of dude that could roam around, not really have to defend too much. But nowadays it sort of seems to be a 6 and then the sort of 2 8s with the high wingers. with Martinelli and Saka, obviously. So, definitely no room for an Ozil type player in our midfield at the moment, but a Xhaka would have been nice. Confidence from the rest of those lads, because it was a few poor chances, and you're right, like if we had a proper finisher and even one or two of those chances would have fallen to his feet, we could have wrapped the game up quite early, because I thought we were like well on top first half.
First half we dominated them.
As it went on and it was still 0-0, you just thought, oh fuck, here we go again. Like they're gonna score one late and then that's gonna be it. But look, I mean, you could probably cut some of the boys slack, but look, finishing, man, it's just we're really letting ourselves down.
Poor.
Taking us all the way from first down to fourth out of the FA Cup. Next game's not until like the 21st or something.
So we've got a big break. We've got the weird winter break. Half the teams.
Get them off to Dubai and fucking refresh them. Get them coming back, banging them in.
I'd just love to see a striker. Apparently, Tony has said that he wants to repay Brentford the faith, for keeping him around.
I've seen Benzema wants to leave Saudi Arabia.
I saw a post. It was like 4 strikers, and it was like, which one would you want? And it was Benzema and 3 others, and it was like, as soon as I saw Benzema, it was like, well, who the fuck else are you gonna pick?
Yeah,
really, you know what I mean? Like,
to come in for
6 months,
6 months,
15 goals.
Yeah, win us the title, and then.
You've got a Premier League brother,
There you go. Or if it works out, stay on for another year.
I would love
sign
it.
Tony in the summer or some shit. But yeah, look, it would be a hell of a sign. I don't see it coming off, but look, maybe if a loan deal can be struck with the Saudi club, a little bit of unrest there in the Saudi league. Seems to be a fuck ton of them over there that want to get out.
Yeah, well, I think
obviously January is the time to make the noise.
Yep.
It's the time you can get a transfer, get a loan. Jordan Henderson has been front and centre.
Apparently called Klopp or something like that, and said he wants to come back. Not wants to come back, but Klopp's come out and said that he hasn't been in contact with them. So who knows? Can't imagine it's all what it looks. What's the saying? All that it lives up to be. Is that the correct saying?
Yeah, look.
I was starting to say it and I thought it was wrong, but basically, you can't judge a book by its cover. Really, maybe that's the saying. It might look all bloody nice and dandy, but it might not be as good as you think.
Yeah, look.
That's it. It might not be as good as you think. That's what I was meaning to say.
Yeah, it might not be as good as you think. Look, Saudi Arabia, I mean, I wouldn't say no to earning
the money.
£350,000 a week.
That's the thing. He's probably fucking made enough money now to say that it's been a good gig,
But yeah, and then I mean, it would be super weird going from playing in the Premier League, playing in sold out stadiums, to playing in stadiums where they have 750 people watching you. And yeah, look, a lot of noise. The families probably aren't so happy over there, which probably makes sense. Coming from a life of luxury in Europe, going over to Saudi Arabia, you probably have yourself, a few of those. What do you call it? The old, I guess the luxury's taken away from you.
Yeah, it's a very different lifestyle.
Yeah, hell of a lifestyle change. So yeah, probably don't blame them for wanting out. And like you said, they've probably secured the bag enough already. 6 months on £350,000 a week. That's it's a bit late for me to be cranking out that maths.
Was it 6 months at 350,000
a week? So 25
times 45 times 25 times 350. Sorry.
What's that?
So that's 300 and what's it times by 100? Times by 100 is 35 million divided by 4. 8 point something.
Yeah, 8 point something mil. I mean,
not bad.
buy a couple of houses, couple of cars, and then get a contract for probably still over 100 grand a week.
Yeah, I'd say
in the Premier League.
you'd be attracting some pretty good money. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. What have we got? Still plenty of time left in this transfer window to see whether
20 days, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, big break until the next Gooners game, which is probably a little bit of a blessing in disguise. A little bit of bat and ball. We've seen Aussie power through to a huge victory over the Pakistanis, but probably not the sort of the talk of the town there at the moment in Aussie. Obviously, we've seen Davey Warner retiring.
Yep.
Shout out to him. Obviously, a legend of the game in terms of Australian cricket and just cricket in general. And Steve Smith, I believe, making his way all the way from batting at 9th on debut, I think it was. He's batted everywhere from 9th through to first now, once he takes the opening from Davey Warner there.
Yeah, look, bit of a buzzy one really. Not too many people go up to open the batting for the first time this late in their career. Into his 30s now, Steve Smith, I believe. Possibly even mid-30s, not even late 30s, but I could be overselling that a little bit. Yeah, look, came in, I remember when he came in and it was fucking supposed to be a leg spin bowler, and 2 years later he was back in the team as a batsman, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
I heard something. Apparently, someone dropped a wicket, and on his first, he obviously bowling on his debut, someone dropped a ball, and they reckon that if the wicket had come through, he might have been a bowler. So
potentially, look, probably ended up making the right choice, Steve Smith. We'll see how he goes opening the batting, I suppose. They've got the Windies to take on, so probably a couple of pretty cruisy wins there for the Aussies in their home condition. Up against the Windies side that I'm not really sure is up to too much, obviously missing out on that one-day World Cup. I don't know if their test team is the best. They're pretty good at T20s, obviously, with all the franchise cricket and stuff that goes on, but yeah, tests, I don't know how well they'll fare. So potentially a good time for Steve Smith to come in and take that opening gig.
And maybe have a bowl while he's at it too, possibly. Get the ball back in the hand.
Get the wrist rolling over again, potentially, yeah. We'll have to see what happens there.
I see you've done a bit of digging.
I did do a bit of digging.
In terms of the old Black Caps marijuana scandal from the ages. A few more players involved than we first thought.
Yeah, look, Stephen Fleming, Dion Nash, Danny Morrison, Takapuna Grammar alumni, Chris Pringle, Brian Young, partaking in a little bit of the old grape juice at a winery in South Africa there, and apparently someone whipped out a J. Don't know who the culprit was there. Fleming said he invoked the why not clause.
Good on him, why not?
You're sitting at a beautiful vineyard, you're probably
three or four bottles and into your session maybe.
Young cricketer, 1994, young Stephen Fleming.
So yeah. So this isn't, Fujitsu heat pump Stephen Fleming. This is
a fresh face.
Fresh out of high school.
Probably less than 10 tests under his belt. I don't really know when he debuted, when he came through there, but
and a beautiful, beautiful country sitting there at a winery. Yeah, you're going to say why not? So good on him, I guess. Really, but obviously went back to bite him in the butt.
Yeah, it all came out in his autobiography.
Yeah, memoir, autobiography.
Danny Morrison, shout out. probably going against the grain as of the usual Takagramma student here. Didn't apparently partake.
Good on him.
The,
didn't fall into the peer pressure.
The Mary Jane there.
I'd say that was a huge influence for many people there at Takagramma, the old peer pressure. So good on you, Danny Morrison. Your parents taught you well. You've obviously you turned it down. But then
apparently it kicked
there's
on.
more. Kick-ons.
Apparently
Kick-ons.
Kick-ons. They went to the hotel, and apparently it was all on. Apparently multiple members of the team, players other than the aforementioned 5 were involved. Partners were involved. Sounds like a great big session at the hotel, really, which
obviously didn't go down too well with some people then.
Didn't go down too well, but apparently Fleming kind of got done in a little bit, and everyone was sort of saying, no, I didn't get involved. And had he have said that, it probably would have been sweet, but obviously owned up to it. And
he was the young buck that thought, shit, this could be my career over here, you know? Honesty is the best policy, but maybe sometimes not.
Ended up getting a fine. Don't think it was too detrimental in the end.
Mr. Fujitsu, I mean, Jesus.
Ripped Black Caps.
Come on, Mr. Fujitsu, I don't think it was too detrimental to him at all. Maybe that was the turning point maybe for him. That was the spark of his career.
Black Caps captain.
All because of
heat pumps.
All from toking
turning into a hell of a
few doobies back in 1994, eh?
Yeah. Maybe that's why we get such a reputation as a team that everyone sort of likes and gets along with. You know, we're just that sort of laid back stoner team.
They've got that stereotypical sort of New Zealand vibe to them, do they? Who knows? Maybe that's the same as the West Indies. You know, you associate weed with Jamaica. You know, there. The Caribbean, obviously, a very chilled out spot.
I'd say there'd be a little bit of invoking the why not clause
over there as well.
Over in the Caribbean, over on a tour.
I'd say they're probably a team that quite a lot of people probably quite like too. You know, you think of some players that have played there over the years. Your Chris Scales, your Brian Lara's, some pretty cool.
You imagine, the likes of Shane Warne going up for a rip and tear with some of the West Indian lads.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
That would be a sight to see.
I can imagine
the
maybe
Marshall twins.
Jesse Ryder probably got himself into a bit of trouble with them over in the Caribbean at some stage, I'd imagine. So yeah, I think you could probably get there'd be quite a few misbehaviours in the cricketing world, even though they may look smart out there on the field in the whites. It doesn't mean they're not misbehaving behind the scenes.
100%. Black Caps, I think their first game against Pakistan starts tomorrow.
Okay.
2020 action to get yourself involved with. Look, hopefully we can pick up a few more wins than the weather has been getting lately. Not 100% sure where this one is and what the forecast is. We'll just have a look now.
I've read that apparently there's that big little heat surge coming through tomorrow 7 p.m.
It might actually be Eden Park, this one.
How much is that? Would that set you back a ticket? Yeah, there you go. Oraki Marae, I'd say so.
Yeah. Well, how much would it set you back for a ticket? Probably 25, 30 bucks.
That could be maybe worth a little geese, possibly.
I think there'd be a few 2020s.
We'll have a few coming along soon.
Australia, Eden Park, potentially.
2020s, tests.
And then off to the World T20 and
June. We'll have some more things popping. Uganda.
Off to the Caribbean.
That's pretty cool. We get to play Uganda. Do we get to play everyone? PNG.
They're in our group, yeah.
PNG made it. We did touch on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Jesus. Who's in their team? Do they have anyone very flash?
Anyone very flash? I'm not 100% sure there, brother. We'll have a look at their most previous lineup. They beat Hong Kong.
Maybe they need Hong Kong.
Harry.
Not a very good striker though there. Lega Siaka, possibly maybe
Michael Charlie, that's a hell of a name. Double first name there.
What's the bowling stats like? Because they did look like they bowled pretty well there against.
Oh, one of these guys got a 6 for bro.
Is he Papua New Guinea? No, he's a
He's Hong Kong, is he?
Yeah, he must be.
And then what they got?
They just shared it around. There's nothing too flash in there, really, is there?
Only Norman got a bit of tap, really.
The Khan brothers, I don't know if they're brothers, but there's a few Khans, yeah. I've played with Hong Kong on a cricket game before. 1, 2, 3, 4 Khans in the team.
Good
5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, just 4. Good on
5.
Yet to bat, Anas Khan, yeah, wow.
Yeah, 5 cans.
Wow, good on them.
Good on them,
I
but
don't know
yeah.
if they're all brothers or not, but if they are, that's a
We'll just assume that, I suppose.
quintuplets. The Hong Kong.
That's a hell of an assumption.
Hongkonese, Hong Kong. How do you say that if you're from Hong Kong?
Hong Kongese?
Hongkongese,
I don't know.
the Hong Kongese quintuplets. Who knows? Give it a Google.
People from
Hong
Hong Kong are called Hong
Hong Kong is, yeah,
Hong
Hongkongese.
Kongese.
Hong Kongese, yeah, it's
Hong Kong citizens and Hong Kong people.
yeah. There you go.
So you can pretty
Hong Kong-
much go with whatever the hell you want.
It's the
You've got 4 options.
Hongkongese, Hong Kong. It's
Hong Kongese.
It's a
quintuplets.
mouthful, yeah. But that probably wraps us up in terms of the old bat and ball. Now, not too much action going on at the Oki at the moment. We've, I guess the big thing to look at really, or the big thing to sort of celebrate, Big Rig and Hopes both making it through to the second round of Q School progression. I don't know what you'd call it there. Basically, you've got a huge group of people. They've currently got one going on in the UK, one going on in Germany, and I think each first round is like it's the best of 512. I don't think every fixture slot is filled in. There's a few players getting buys and things like that, but it must be about 400 players at each sort of thing. I think I want to say the top 4 or 5 of each day automatically go through to the second round, and then the other players based off the points that they get go through as well. So Ben and Hopes both won enough games to go through into that. Round 2, you see all the professional players that have just lost their tour card. They come into the round now as well to try and get back into it. A couple of big names all over. We've seen John Part, the old world champion there, commentator, making it back into the second round there. So if we saw him get his tour card again, that'd be pretty cool. Max Hopp there in the German one. Obviously, at one stage there, I was going to say the next Luke Littler. Luke Littler's a bit of a Max Hopp, possibly. Different, because I don't think Max Hopp was as successful as Luke Littler was at such an early stage, but I've got the old Facebook memory that pops up at some stage of the year talking about Max Hopp, from like 2012, and he was unreal. I think he was young. I think he is younger than me, and I remember sitting there thinking, this fella's on TV now, watching old Uncle Luke Littler, 33 years old, playing out there with his dodgy ID, possibly, who knows. But yeah, so shout out to Big Rig, shout out to Hopes. Hopefully she's starting up again in about 20 minutes or so. Day 2, hopefully we can see. So apparently Ben said he's not even been finding his form, so if he can find his form, it'd be awesome to see one of them win a day and make their way into the next round again. But if we could see a Kiwi gain their tour card, it would be pretty bloody cool. That's probably us, I'd say, this week, as always. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening, watching, tuning in. Remember to give us a like, a 5-star, a subscribe, a comment. We're still waiting on one of these bloody voice messages. Still yet to get a voice message. I'd like one of those in. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy the sunshine. If you're having a punt, do so responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Sounds good to me. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.